Hi, I'm Brittany Kuhlman. This is my EDL 852 case study on who should create the school's vision and mission statement. For the summary of the case, we're talking about Lightville Community School District. It is a rural district that is located about 10 miles from a major city. 65% of the population live on farms. And they have two schools currently. One is K through 6, and the other is 7 through 12. They have noticed a 2% increase in student population each year, and they're starting to see overcrowding issues. The school board approved the construction of a new middle school, and that bond passed 53 to 47, so it was a very close vote. We have school superintendent Joe Rawlings, and he hired Susan Potter to be the principal of that new school. She was hired a year in advance to help with the staffing of the school, organization of the curriculum and extracurricular activities, as well as collaborate with construction. When it came to creating a philosophy and a school mission and vision statement, Rawlings and Potter and the school board appointed 4 teachers and 4 parents to be on an advisory committee. And again, their goal was to develop a school philosophy, mission, and vision statement. Helen Burke is one of those members. She was appointed as the chair after Susan Potter was like, I do not need to be the chair. I want somebody else to be the chair of our committee. She's an English and social studies teacher. She has a brother that is a school board member. And Helen does not think that they need a committee for this and that Potter should create the school philosophy and mission and vision statement on her own because she was hired to do that. She is the leader of or the expert in middle school education, and she is their leader, so she should be taking that on by herself. Dan Kelby is a PE teacher. He agrees with Helen, and he said that he has several thoughts about the new school, especially related to the athletic programs, but he thinks everybody's just going to argue. Ultimately, the committee voted to support Potter doing the work by herself in creating that philosophy, mission, and vision statement. So when it comes to incorporating data, those members of the committee were to share their beliefs and their values to reflect on, so that way they could make a effective philosophy and mission and vision statement. Technology was not discussed. But it could have been used to send out surveys to the community so that way they could get more input on how is the community going, what direction are they moving in, what are the values that they'd like to see in that school. They could have also used any form of Google Docs, Google Forms as a way to communicate the data, or even sending out meeting agendas to the members and sending out minutes from your board meetings or your community meetings so people know what was going on and talked about in those meetings. Equity was shown when Potter stated she did not want to be the chair of the committee, and she appointed Helen to do so. Diversity was shown when they appointed some parents and teachers to form the committee, even though we don't know much about the diversity of those members. We don't know their ethnicity, their socioeconomic status, but they did appoint other people. It wasn't just administrators on that committee. Digital citizenship was not discussed. They could have posted on their district website again for lookouts of, hey, we're going to send out this survey in regards to the new middle school, so parents knew they could look for those and join in on ownership of that new school. And they could also maybe invited parents to come to a future meeting. And then showing community, again, if we had 4 parents on the advisory committee to help develop that school philosophy, mission, and vision statement. Legal and ethical issues. Really, there were no legal issues that were addressed. Nobody was harmed. There was no contract breach. Ethically, though, Susan might believe that it is against her ethics or morals to develop the school mission and vision by herself. She is an out-of-district hire, and she would rather develop something that relates back to the community. She doesn't have any ideas about what their community wants. Also, Helen having a board member as a brother and then also being on the committee, not only just as a member, but as the chair of the committee, could be seen as a conflict of interest. Is she putting wishes from her brother into that committee? Or is she an influence on the school board as well? So, after being hired as a new principal, Susan Potter established a committee to help create the school philosophy and vision and mission statement that ultimately that committee voted to have Potter create on her own. All right, so if we're talking about missing facts and the people involved, we don't know what the opinions of the other committee members were. Helen was really the only one to speak up and say that she didn't think they needed the committee and that Susan should be doing this all on her own. Um, Dan Kelby did say, um, if we're all starting to share our dreams, we may end up arguing endlessly, and I think we should follow Helen's suggestion. But again, there was no record of any other opinions. We're also missing the opinion of our community members. What are our stakeholders thinking about that new middle school? And then again, the rest of the new staff as well. We don't have any opinions on the other staff on what should go into that middle school's philosophy, mission, or vision statement. Place-wise, again, we're at Lightville Community School District. 60% of the residents live on the farm. We do not know what those community values are. We know it's a rural area, but do we need to, manipulate the school calendar because of farm events, harvest, planting season? Do we need to change the calendar for that? So we don't have any really community input. And then program-wise, again, we are a rural school district that has 2 current schools. There's an elementary and a secondary school. But what are the current vision and mission statements for those other schools or even for that school district? So that way we can get some community needs and then we can have an understanding of what direction we should go into. Prioritizing the information. So again, Lightville Community is in the process of constructing a new middle school that will house grades 6 through 8. Susan Potter was appointed as principal and started working 1 year in advance, so that way she could secure staff and curriculum and collaborate on construction. She did secure the staff except for 4 people that were transferring from within the district. And she developed an advisory committee to help develop that school philosophy, vision, and mission statement. And then ultimately the committee voted for Potter to do all of the work on her own because she was hired as an expert in middle school education and she should know what she's doing. So for action plans, the first option or the first level would be do nothing. Susan could go on ahead and create that philosophy, vision, and mission statement on her own, and then go to her committee for that support, and then present it to her superintendent and the school board for approval. The second level of action plan, Susan could decide to send out a survey to other teachers and stakeholders within the community and then get feedback so then she feels more confident writing that philosophy, vision, and mission statement. Just getting some more input since she is an out-of-district hire. And then my third level for an action plan, this is the most aggressive, I guess, level. Susan could call another committee meeting, establish more norms for the committee, explain why they were chosen to be on that committee, reiterate like you're here because I want to be a team and to collaborate on those things so that way we all have ownership in the middle school. And then ultimately replace any committee member that did not adhere to those norms. If you don't agree that we need a committee to be a team and to collaborate, then we can vote and we can have you off the committee and vote in somebody new. After we have established our committee, again, we can send out a survey to stakeholders. That committee can evaluate the data from the survey and then collaboratively write a school philosophy, vision, and mission statement based off that data. and then we can make a draft and we'll send it off to our superintendent and then send it off to the school board for approval. So the pros and cons for my first level of action, which was do nothing. The pros is the committee will be happy because Susan decided to do everything on her own. The cons would be the statements they might not relate to the community needs because Susan's new. She doesn't know what those community needs are. And then buy-in from the staff and community could be weak because they could get the philosophy and the vision and mission statement approved, and then everybody's like, well, this isn't what we believe in. So buy-in can be very rough. The second level of action, the pros would be Susan will get input from stakeholders on their own philosophies and what direction that school should go in. But then the cons, the committee might not like that Susan went behind their back with a survey. Again, they think that she should just do it on her own and she doesn't need any input. And then the third level of action, the pros, the committee has agreed on norms and to collaborate to ensure success of the new middle school. The stakeholders will get input into the school's vision and mission. And then an effective school philosophy, mission and vision statement will be developed. The only cons is that some committee members that could be replaced might have harsh feelings and not support Susan as the new principal. Okay, so to develop this plan, the best option, I believe, is to go with the second level and the third level of action plans. Susan will call another advisory committee meeting and explain why each member not only agreed to be on this committee, but what their duty is and why it was even created. The committee is then going to establish norms so all members can collaborate to achieve a goal, make sure that everybody feels confident enough to speak their opinion, and that it's not just one-sided. The committee will then create a survey that will be sent out to the community stakeholders to receive input of values, what their vision is, what they think we should be doing in the middle school. That can include parents, students, farmers that might be employing future students, and so forth. The committee will then reflect on that data to create a draft of the school's philosophy, mission, and vision statement. And then Susan will take that draft to the school superintendent to present to the school board for approval. Implementing the plan. So again, I would meet with the committee and explain to them why the committee was developed and get everybody on board. If we have some committee members that don't agree, we as a committee can vote to remove them and then vote in somebody new. We will define the norms of the group, like respect, collaborating, constructive criticism, those types of things. And then that committee will then go on to develop a survey to be sent out to our community stakeholders. Again, that could be creating multiple surveys, one for parents, one for students, one for employers. And then after the survey goes out, the committee will then reflect on that data that they got back from the survey to begin developing a philosophy and a mission and vision statement. They're going to develop each statement as a group, get an input, and then they're going to write a draft. And then they will send that to the school superintendent to present to the school board for approval. And then as the year goes on, they can review those statements with the committee and determine if we need to revise it at all. The standard correlation, so this assignment related to the standard by allowing me to participate in a real-life scenario about creating a mission and vision statement. During this scenario, I was able to use the skills that I learned about mission and vision statements as well as ethics and developing team norms. This assignment promotes the future success of students and staff by allowing me to use ethics and group norms to collaborate and to ensure the right decision is made. This assignment is relevant to my learning because in the future I do plan on being a building principal, and there's a chance that I will be a part of developing a new mission and vision statement. This assignment has allowed me to practice democracy while trying to get committee members on the same page and help them understand that education is a team effort. It's not one-sided. And then lastly, after completing this assignment, I feel that I have the tools necessary to help lead a school in a collaborative direction. It is more important to have a team effort when it comes to decisions that will affect a school, like a mission and vision statement. Not only will staff and community members feel like they have a purpose within the school, but will also have more respect for the administration for wanting that input, for asking for help. Without the knowledge from this course, I don't believe I would have had the tools necessary to provide a solution for these scenario. And that's it.